Hi, this is Chris Wilson Slack with Managers to Leaders Coaching.com. And I am going to talk today a little bit about the fear of losing control. This is something that is really a deep hidden fear that a lot of people will not necessarily show at work. And it can show up in some very opposing ways. So, the self sabotage, or sometimes it's also referred to as self destruction, it can be an act of interfering with your own goals. It's really the idea is that you may have something that you want to achieve, but because you may lose control of either yourself or the situation, you will undermine the situation to be able to stop everything from moving forward, whether it's yourself or the project, or maybe a promotion or maybe a raise. A lot of times, this fear is a perceived loss of control where think about driving down a road and you're driving down a curvy road on a highway that's overlooking a beautiful ocean and there's a steep cliff. There may be a fear of driving off the road that you have no control that something would happen, when in fact, it's probably very low on the scale that that's going to happen. How does this show up at work? It shows up at work in procrastination, maybe sometimes being late for meetings or sometimes being late for work itself. It can show up as not being there for an important event or not being ready for a status update in a project. When we feel like we're in that mode of losing control, we also may be able to, or we also may not ask for help. That can be a real problem because in fact, that's probably the time when we need help the most. How do you get away from this? How do you address the idea of loss of control and this idea of self sabotage? One way to be able to do it is to set smaller goals for yourself or smaller milestones. This also helps when somebody else has the same problem of losing control. As long as they're taking small steps and achieving those small steps, they see that they have the control that's necessary to get through whatever it is that's happening. Look for outside support. More than any of the other fears, this is one of the fears where getting an outside perspective and getting some assistance from somebody who is more experienced, maybe, will help you be able to not sabotage what's going on. A lot of times when we fear that something we're going to lose control, we end up walking away and turning our back on it. And that's actually the opposite of what we need to do. Small doses, small steps, you can overcome this idea of self sabotage and losing control with some patience and some vigilance. As always, if you'd like to talk further, click on the scan button at the end of this video, and I would love to talk with you. I'm Chris Wilson Slack with Managers to Leaders.com. Have a great day.